It's 8/2012 on Thursday, and Maya is smiling at a promotion offer while her toddler bangs a spoon against a high-chair tray. The title is bigger, the salary is bigger, but the daycare email sitting unread in her inbox is bigger than she wants to admit. By lunch, the raise that felt like momentum has turned into a kitchen table calculation about taxes, commuting, backup sitters, and time. Care.com's 2026 Cost of Care report found parents surveyed spend 20% or more of household income on childcare on average. That is not a rounding error. Federal affordability conversations often use 7% as a benchmark, which means many families are paying almost triple what policy considers manageable. Maya's mistake is common. She compares the promotion to her current paycheck, not to the new costs required to earn that paycheck. So today, we're building the childcare break-even point, the line where the second paycheck actually adds money instead of just moving money around. Start with the gross raise, but don't stop there. Gross income is the sticker price. Your bank account lives with the after-tax price. One approach is to estimate marginal federal, state, payroll, and local taxes, then calculate what each new dollar may actually bring home. For Maya, the promotion adds $17,000. If her combined marginal tax bite is roughly 28%, the usable raise falls near $12,240. That number is the first truth, not the offer letter, not the congratulatory Slack messages, the cash that survives taxes. Now subtract the job's friction costs, extra daycare hours, transportation, parking, lunches, work clothes, and the quiet killer, emergency coverage. Care.com reported average weekly costs of $870 for a nanny, $332.9 for daycare, and $323 for family care center care for one child. Those weekly numbers matter because childcare doesn't bill like a vacation. It bills like rent, whether your week was smooth or chaotic. Annualize everything. A $322 weekly daycare bill becomes more than $17,000 a year before registration fees, late pickup charges, or summer gaps. Maya's promotion requires 3 office days instead of 1. Her center charges for a longer day because pickup moves past the standard window. That adds $210 a month, not dramatic in isolation. But childcare math is a stack of small doors all swinging open at once. Commuting adds another door. Train fare, parking, fuel, tolls, and occasional rides home after closures can turn flexibility into a real expense. Backup care is the line most parents underprice. Kids get fevers, centers close. Meetings don't always move because a classroom has a staffing issue. Consider pricing backup care before you need it. Sitter hourly rates, minimum bookings, agency fees, and whether your employer offers emergency care benefits. Here's Maya's rough math. The after-tax raise is $12,240. Extra care costs $2,520. Commuting costs $30,100. Back-effect care estimate, $2,000. Add $900 for work meals and clothing, and the promotion's first-year cash gain drops to about $3,720 before any surprises. That is the moment the promotion stops feeling simple. Maya didn't misread the offer, she just read the household version later. But the break-even point is not a command to quit, decline, or stay stuck. It is a decision tool, not a verdict. Work has value beyond this month's cash flow. Retirement contributions, health coverage, professional momentum, future raises, and keeping options open matter. Career interruptions may affect future earnings, but the size depends on industry, timing, benefits, and how easily someone re-enters. So the better question is not, should Maya work? It is, what must be true for this promotion to work financially? That question moves the conversation from guilt to variables. Variables can be negotiated, planned, compared, and revisited when life changes. Care.com found 1 in 5 surveyed families spend more than $30,000 a year on childcare, and 31% dip into savings to cover it. If childcare is draining savings, consider separating structural costs from surprise costs. Structural costs need income solutions. Surprise costs need a sinking fund. A childcare sinking fund may help cover registration fees, summer camp deposits, sick day sitters, school closures, and the August bill nobody remembers. Maya opens a separate savings bucket and names the job it performs, childcare shocks. Not vacation, not extra spending, shocks only. Next comes the tax layer. Taxes rarely solve the childcare problem alone, but they may reduce the net cost if you qualify. The IRS says the Child and Dependent Care Credit generally uses up to $3,000 of expenses for one qualifying person or $6,000 for two or more. The credit percentage depends on income, and rules can change, so consider checking current IRS guidance or consulting a qualified tax professional. Also ask HR about dependent care benefits, backup care programs, pre-tax accounts, and whether unused benefits disappear if you miss enrollment deadlines. GAO reported children receiving Child Care and Development Fund subsidies fell from 2 million in 2019 and 2020 to 1.8 million in 2021. GAO also found that 2021 participation represented about 15% of children eligible under federal rules, which means many eligible families may not use help. Don't assume you earn too much without checking. Eligibility can depend on state rules, family size, hours worked, and care type. Childcare Aware of America publishes research and data on childcare supply, affordability, and state-level resources that may help families compare local realities. Now compare care options with the same lens. Daycare may cost less than a nanny, but availability, hours, and closure days change the math. A family care center may offer a lower weekly price, but ask about backup plans, licensing, pickup rules, and holiday schedules. A nanny share can spread costs across families, though payroll taxes, sick coverage, contracts, and household fit deserve careful planning before committing. The cheapest option on paper may become expensive if it collapses twice a month and forces unpaid leave or last-minute coverage. Reliability has a dollar value. If one option costs $150 more monthly but prevents $400 of missed work, it may be cheaper in practice. Remote days also have a dollar value. For Maya, avoiding one commute day saves fare, parking, lunch, and one longer daycare window. That single remote day could be worth roughly $260 a month. It belongs in the compensation conversation, not just the lifestyle conversation. When negotiating, consider saying, "The role works if the structure works." Then ask about flexible hours, remote days, or backup care support. If your manager can't change salary, they may still influence schedule, location, start time, travel load, or transition support. For couples, run the calculation across both schedules, not just the lower paycheck. The higher earner may have the more flexible job. For single parents, the backup care line deserves even more respect. A reliable network may protect income as much as any raise. Here's the framework. First, calculate after-tax income from the job or promotion. Use conservative assumptions because optimistic childcare math breaks quickly. Second, subtract direct work costs, care, commute, parking, meals, clothing, licensing fees, and predictable coverage gaps that repeat each month. Third, subtract risk costs, sick days, closures, waitlist deposits, summer gaps, and the premium you pay when options are scarce. Fourth, add back benefits with real value, employer match, health coverage, pre-tax care accounts, paid leave, and career momentum where applicable. Fifth, compare the result with your next best alternative, not with an imaginary world where childcare is free and calendars behave. If the number is negative, consider negotiating structure, changing care type, delaying the move, or finding public and employer supports. If the number is positive but thin, consider building a buffer before lifestyle inflation absorbs the only margin the promotion created. Softly, and if the number hurts, take a breath. A hard calculation is not the same as a bad parent. This is why childcare decisions should not happen only at crisis points. Reactive decisions usually give the most expensive option the most power. If this episode helps you put numbers around a stressful choice, a quick follow or share helps more working families find the framework. So, not financial advice. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. Back to Maya. She does not reject the promotion. She takes the break-even sheet into a second conversation with her manager. She asks for one remote day, a later start on office days, and details on backup care support during center closures. The changes don't make childcare cheap. They do make the promotion cash positive enough to protect savings and keep retirement contributions steady. That is the goal. Not a perfect answer, but a workable answer that survives a fever, a closure, and a messy Tuesday. Your break-even point may look different. Your taxes, support system, city, benefits, and career path all change the result. But the structure travels. Income after taxes, minus the cost of earning it, plus benefits you can actually use today. Write that equation before you accept, decline, or panic. The math won't remove the emotion, but it can stop the spiral. Then update it quarterly. Kids age into new rooms, schedules change, benefits reset. The break-even point moves when life moves. Childcare is not just a bill. It is infrastructure for work, income, and long-term financial stability. Treat it with that respect. Today's money move: build your childcare break-even sheet before the next raise, job change, school break, or daycare email lands. Maya's promotion finally becomes clear, not bigger on paper, but sustainable at home. That is the paycheck that matters most right now.